Good afternoon to everybody. Good first day. Thought really good effort. Obviously, you go out there and for the first time in a long time, and for us, it's been a while. So I thought our guys worked extremely hard. I thought it was a really good first start to fall camp. Had our meetings to get things rolling yesterday, and thought. Execution was good, but that always gets better through time and everything. But a lot of the young guys out there, a lot of new faces. We went able to go four groups of each, which is really good for us, and opportunity to get a lot of guys, lots of reps. So look forward to getting in there and watching the film and evaluating it. Questions?
Coach, obviously the last couple of years you haven't been as involved with the defense. I guess today, obviously in the spring it was probably a little different, but what's changed for you guys going to team stuff? Are you kind of back to being more of a DC type of role?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a balance between way it would have been the last few years and way it was before that. We script everything at this, in these situations, so that makes it easier. When it comes to scrimmages, I'll be calling it, so that'll be a little different. But right now, because we script everything for this part of the practice progression, it's easier. It's a little more like spring, and so I'm able to. I know what the call is, and what I do though, just so I can watch everything. As the guy stands next to me, tells me what the call is going to be, and I can get my eyes where I want them to be. But yeah, I'm a little more. I would say in the last couple of years, I would have been more focused on the defense during those reps. But at the same time, I'm not. It wouldn't be like I was if I was just a DC. Just focused completely on them. Offense makes a big play. Offense does something positive. Offense does something I need to address. I'll be, I just need to know where to get my eyes for the call. So the thing I really love about the way we have it structured is, everything is so well planned ahead of time. Even the walkthroughs are all scripted out to where I'm able to still have a head coach feel to it. Whereas in the past, I was more zeroed in on just the defense when I was the head coach the first couple of years and just calling it. And I feel like we got a better flow from that, and I like the way we do our walkthroughs where we do two separate groups and it's all scripted out, and I was just more involved in that before, and so as far as like me just telling guys this there on the field, and so now I think it allows me to be more of a head coach. So it feels a little different, but at the same time I really love it. I really enjoy this opportunity for myself, and because that's really where my heart is in regards to just the actual game itself as a defensive side of football in regards to scheming. But I think it's just it's good. But we got a great staff, and Chad does a great job, and he runs all the meetings. That's really important. It allows me to be on both sides and be in the quarterback meetings, be in the full team offensive meetings at times, and I think that's really key. And then he'll dress the guys as well afterwards. But so it's kind of a combination of both.
Outside the group that you would expect to be leaders, be more vocal and that kind of thing, are there maybe two or three guys that coming out of the summer you sort of noticed just something different in their attitude, the way they're carrying themselves, the way they're talking to teammates, et cetera?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think there's several guys. For me, I feel like that Aaron Casey is a guy that's really has been kind of quiet in the past, in regards even just verbally, but has really stepped up, and I just think his confidence is at an all-time high, and excited to see his work ethic has always been strong, but I think that's a guy that I see being elevated. He's elevated himself by his preparation. He sticks out to me quite a bit. I think James Head's another one that sticks out to me, a guy that has been here, yes, but hasn't really been a verbal guy, but with that defensive line and his experience, I am just excited about him. I think DJ is really, I know he's the guy that got here and he got injured early last year. It was great having him back. He did some really good things today, but just his confidence level, and it's also his desire to want to be a verbal leader, especially within his group and for the offense. And I think that's important. I know, Jack has really challenged himself to do that. I think Connor's same thing, just trying to be able to maximize those opportunities. I know Sean Shivers hasn't been here before in terms of the season, but he's, through his preparation, his work ethic, I think he's really. So those are some guys that in the past haven't been our team leaders, but I just think that they, with their work, and there's a bunch of guys, we had a really, really good summer. I felt like the guys worked extremely hard, and I could probably name some more guys, but I just think that there's just a sense of urgency out of this group that you have to have, and I think there's obviously the season is a big part of that, and these guys got a lot of pride in what they're all part of, and they want to create change.
Coach, along the lines of Zach's question, the accountability part, several coaches call players back out of the huddle. They didn't, the huddle well enough. How would you grade that today, both on the player side and on your assistant coaches holding those players down?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it has to be. You got some. I think we got. You can go through and count the new faces. There's quite a few. And so, and some of these guys were not here in the springtime, so this is their first time practicing with us today. And we can do some things over the summer. They give us a little more freedom this year, this summer than ever before, but still not the same as a practice. And so, a big emphasis has been, obviously, it starts with the coaches. And we talk about you never walk by anything that you don't address. You don't ever let any little thing slide. And so, and I don't want that just to be the coaches. You don't walk by a mistake. And so, to me, that's we challenged our guys about last night in the team meeting, and we want the players to do that, want the coaches to do that. So to me, I think it's just a higher sense of urgency on those things, even how we warm up. Every coach being engaged in everything we do, we're just trying to heighten the sense of urgency in every little minute detail of everything that we have. It's just, everybody can have their opinions about what it means by the little things, because those little things it's everything that you do, right? And so I think our guys are really trying to, as coaches and players, respond to that. So I would say it's a higher sense of urgency in that area. And so we're not going to leave no stone unturned, and you always want to be that way, but to me, you just intensify and you get what you emphasize. So that's definitely what we're going to focus on.
He's generally played a lot of tempo. How are you seeing you guys handle that so far in the 1 and 2? What kind of rotations or how big of rotations do you want to have, I guess, with the skill positions in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, you got to play a lot of guys. And for me, we've always had that, tempo's always been a part of us here, and so that's just, you just use it different times and different things with all that. So I would just say that the key is I believe you got to get a lot of guys involved, and that's going to be just a philosophy of playing lots of players, both sides of the football, for multiple reasons, so you can obviously be able to, keep guys fresh for the end of the game, keep guys fresh for the end of the season. And I also think there's just the ability to alter, how you do things as an offense, in regards to all those things. And so to me, it's really about us as an offense, figuring out what we can do really well and maximizing that and allowing our strengths to become maximized and being able to minimize the things that can hurt us.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you about the 2023 recruiting class. I know we're a long way from the December signing period. What's the right way to look at kind of where you're at right now with that class and how big you want it to be?
Yeah, I will say this. It's not going to be a big class, So I think right where we are is kind of where we kind of thought we would be. We got several positions where we're taking one, and you want to be really, really selective, with that process. And so, it's just not going to be a big class. And so, because of that, the charge has been, let's be very deliberate, let's be very slow with this, and let's make sure we get the ones that we want for sure. And like I said, if you're taking 3 or 4, it's one thing. You're taking one, that becomes really, really critical. So, and I know the way it's evaluated and the way it's graded is based on numbers. Numbers rewards that creep. So it's not going to be, just being very blunt with you, it's probably not going to be what it's been, especially this last year numerically, because of that variable right there. But that's okay. We got a lot of positions where we got a lot of guys coming back. So I think that the ones where you have the higher numbers, you can just do the math with the guys who are going to be graduating, and those areas we got to be replaced. But yeah, it is going to be a smaller class. So I'm thinking 12 to 15, at the most. So that's definitely small.
Coach, was there a tone that needed to be set today on day one on how every day has to be for this season for it to play out how you and the team needs and wants it to be?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why my voice was pretty effective within about 15 minutes of being out there. So the urgency, the attention to detail, how we walk. Because, you got, like I said, you got guys, and that's one thing, player practices over the summer are good, but they're also, we're not there, you know, and so I promise you it's not the same. And especially when it regards to urgency in between, you know, the reps, the transition from one thing to the next, and how you walk through, you know, and to me, I just want to set that tone for everything we do. And the tempo, the hustle, the execution, the attention to detail, you know, yes, it's heightened for sure. And it's going to be the same way tomorrow until we get it and just totally ingrained. And we got a lot of guys back, yes, but, you know, got enough new guys. And it's amazing, you know, especially ones coming right from high school. I mean, it's really different, especially if they just got here in June, than anything they've ever been a part of before. And so it's a little bit of culture shock today. And so I could see it in some of their eyes. It was just kind of, you know, so, but that's okay. And that's part of it, and they'll figure it out. And but part of that is also the players leading those guys and pulling them aside in between practices and talking to them, hey, this is how we do it. This is what you got to make sure you do. So but yeah, it's a, you know, I thought the meetings yesterday set that tone, and this meetings this morning, and it will continue. But yes, absolutely.
Going off of what you just said about some of the guys gearing headlights a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone that's kind of far ahead of that or further ahead than you would expect for someone new?
Oh, I would say, you know, I thought Cam Perry really didn't look as new as he might have, and some of the other guys did and I'm talking about the guys that got here this summer, you know, that have never been a part of a practice with us other than the player practice over the summer. And so, in the OTAs, which were, you know, coaches involved in some points, but not completely. So, you know, I think he jumped out to me, made some plays today, made some catches today, has a really good burst to him and really has a great acceleration. And I would say, you know, defensively, I'm trying to think of a guy, because I thought some guys on defense looked like deer in the headlights, you know, so going to be good players, but definitely not used to this, you know, so which is okay. But, you know, I would say probably, you know, I'm not going to mention anybody on defense. So I don't think any of them really were just like, you know, today, because, and I honestly, I get it. I'm not sitting here, you know, criticizing them. It's just being, you know, I think that you know, those things take time, and that's okay. And as long as they respond, which I believe they will, then they'll figure it out.
Jack, Tom, when you watch Travell Mullen, what similarities and differences do you think he shares with his older brother, Taiwan, and how much do you think he can contribute as a freshman like him?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, he's taller. He's got the twitch, you know, the twitchiness that Taiwan has, and I just think that he, you know, has a little slider build, you know, and so that to me is, even though Taiwan wasn't big when he was here by any means, but he was a little thicker, a little broader shouldered, and so, but I think just, you know, you have a little bit of, you know, quite a bit of swagger to him, you know, that is really hard to teach and coach, you know, and it's funny because that kind of came up when we had the players over the house and they're playing basketball, you know, against each other. That's when I first noticed it, you know. And even though he can't shoot, okay, I'm not saying he's a good basketball player. I'm just talking about the competitiveness, the little fire inside you, you know, just to be able to just play defense and fight. And sometimes I kind of like, guys, we're not, no injuries here. We're getting ready, you know, we're just here to have some fun. But you can see if they got something to him, you know, when we do stuff like that. And so he definitely got that little Mullen mindset to him, which is pretty cool.
Zach, and the same last one.
Sort of following up on a question that I think you kind of demurred from answering a little bit, but you got a long look at a number of those freshmen in the spring. Are there any guys that, whether it's because of something you've seen now or even just what you kind of expected of them when you were recruiting them, when you signed them, that you didn't get to see in the spring with the freshman class that you feel like you're going to keep kind of a close eye on here in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's several players, you know, and a lot of it's the guys, and it's amazing how much of a difference that spring makes for a young man, you know, and I get it. It's the second time doing something, you know, but, you know, I think Vincent Sneed shows a lot of, you know, Nick James, those two guys to me as true freshmen, defensive linemen, that, you know, they don't look like freshmen, you know, the way they move and the way they do things. And yeah, they still got to figure stuff out. I think Desan, you know, is another one that's got a chance to be able to continue to grow with that. And you know, that's really exciting to me. You know, I know I didn't mention Jordan Greer. I know he's not a freshman, but it just kind of comes to my mind. He's really flashed to me from a year ago till now. And I think guys like that have been here. And there's really, you know, Jamari Sharps, another one. I know I didn't. He definitely has a little bit of the, he's new, but physically he doesn't look like a freshman, And so I think guys like that have length and athleticism, and it's important, And then Jalen Lucas is another one that just continues to, his confidence continues to grow through the summer, even today. Just really excited about what he brings and what he's going to be able to bring. And Carter Smith's another one. Those guys have been here you forget those are true freshman guys. And Bray Lynch, I didn't mention Bray, but Bray's going to be a really good football player, And he did just get here this summer, but he came from a program that plays at such a high level, high school wise, that I don't think that any of this stuff's really kind of phasing him, in regards to the environment and the way we do things. He's probably been prepared the closest to collegiately than any of our guys out of high school, so where he's coming from. But I think it's a really good group of guys, that's got all different positions, both sides of football, and I'm excited to see them grow and develop. So it's going to be important. These next several weeks are big for them, and that's why we went fours today. We went 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s in our rotations. I think it's very important to get those guys reps, and even though they're going to make a lot of mistakes, that's how you develop them, and give us a great chance to evaluate them. We get the chance to see who's going to be ready to play and contribute as a freshman and who's not, and who will be using those 4 games and who may, just have the red shirt pulled based on their ability to compete and play. And so, as we said last night, it's freshman or not, I don't care what grade you're in, it's your responsibility to prove to your coach that you deserve to play. And that's in the practice, it's in the meetings, it's in the walkthroughs, it's in everything we do. And I want those freshmen to figure that out and respond. And I'm sure I forgot some guys, but we got a lot of guys here that need to step up and contribute and help this team be special in 2022.
Coach, we saw James Evans and Alejandro punt today a lot. Is that a competition that's getting closer, or is Alejandro just there to push James to put the local pressure?
Yeah, I want, and we shared that with Alex when we got him here, is to push him, and obviously best players are going to punt. So if he beats him out, he beats him out. So everything's up for competition. Nobody's job is secured. I don't care who you are. And so James knows that. But I think James has worked really hard. I think we all need to have somebody behind us, pushing us. I think that's healthy. I think that's human nature, and I think it'll make him better. So we intentionally went out and found somebody that we felt like had the leg talent to be. We needed somebody that could be a kicker and a punter, because of just the numbers that you have when you're trying to travel and everything. So Alex fit the bill on that, and we're really excited to have him. I think he's got a really strong leg, and I think he's got a chance to help us as well. So I'm excited to have him here, and thought that those guys had a good first day as specialists. Awesome. Have a great day. Elio.